One of the things that happens when you lose a lot of weight is people begin to ask you how you did it. And I'm actually always really excited to tell them. Now, in those little short kind of interactions, though, that we kind of have through the day, there's really not a lot of time. And people have a lot of questions. They have questions about what you eat, what you don't eat, when you eat, all of that kind of stuff. So my hope is to make some short videos, I hope, and just to answer a lot of those questions, because they're questions people have. And they're things I want to share with them, because what I've done really is life altering. I have always been overweight. So even as a kid, I'm probably 8, 9, maybe 10 in that range. I was already overweight. And by the time I was the end of my freshman year in high school, I had gained all the way up to 242 pounds. Now I'm only 5'6", and that is seriously a lot of fat. And when I was in my late teens, I lost a lot of that weight. I lost 90 pounds. I was in the Army for a few years, and I kept that weight off during that time. But after I got out, that was it. I began to lose weight, or I began to gain weight, and I began to go through the same struggles as everyone else who struggled with weight their whole life. I would gain some weight, I would lose some weight. I'd gain some weight, I'd lose some weight. And of course the problem is gaining back, you always gain more than you lost. I've literally lost hundreds of pounds throughout my life. And yet it was always the same cycle. Lose weight, gain weight. And the problem for that, which I'm not going to talk about in a lot of detail here, but the problem is the advice that we've been given as people who struggle with their weight for decades is just wrong. It's just bad advice. Eat less, move more. It's not a recipe for success. If you want to have long-term weight loss, keep it off, feel good, and have good health outcomes. Eat less, move more. It just doesn't work. And you know it doesn't work because, again, that's what we've been telling people for decades, and we have more obesity in this country than we ever have. But it's not just about losing the weight, because obviously that's a lot of it. Everybody wants to look good. But my wife has told me for years, it's not about losing weight to look good. She always tells me, I just want you to be healthy. Like, I just want you to be healthy. Like, be around, right? I want you to be around. I want you to be around the kids. I want you to be around our grandkids. I want you to be around our great-grandkids, right? I want you to be healthy. And that's the greatest thing about what I've been doing. Not only have I lost an incredible amount of weight, I'm actually incredibly healthy. I am in the best shape I've been in decades. The heaviest I had ever been was a number of years ago. I gained all the way up to 264 pounds, and which again is incredibly obese. And not only did I gain that weight and weigh 264, but a few years ago I went to, you can go into Walmart or any drugstore, they have that little high blood pressure, or that little blood pressure machine. I sat down in there one day. I do this every once in a while. One day I sat down at the local Walmart. I checked my blood pressure. I'm not kidding. The screen comes up and it says, seek medical attention immediately. It's like, your blood pressure is so high, you should go to the ER. And I come home, I was a little freaked out. Actually, I came home and told my wife, and she said, I said, I hope that machine's broke, because this is what it told me. And I immediately ordered a home blood pressure monitor. My fasting glucose, 110, well over 100 almost all the time. Over 100, pre-diabetes. So I have high blood pressure, pre-diabetes. I've taken a gout pill for gout. I've had gout since my late 20s, and in my late 30s and early 40s, it was so severe. Sometimes I'd be on and off crutches for a week or more at a time. So I've been taking a gout medication for, 12 years maybe. My allergies had gotten so bad at one point that I just could never breathe. My sinuses were constantly congested. I took an allergy pill, a Zyrtec, every day. Plus, I'd still use nasal spray. And sometimes it was really bad. I'd still take Sudafed and Benadryl. My gums have always kind of bothered me. I always have a tendency to bleed when I brush my teeth. that type of thing. I was going to the dentist every 3 months to have my teeth cleaned because the buildup on my teeth and my gum condition was just so bad. They didn't want me to go longer than that. So all of those things are all better. Maximum weight 264. This morning I weighed 176. I still have about 15, 16 pounds, I don't know, something like that to go to kind of reach my goal. Not set a hard number, it kind of depends on how I feel, but nearly 90 pounds of weight I've lost. My blood pressure this morning was 118/79. It was way above that before. My fasting glucose used to be over 100 and sometimes as high as 110. Now, not just my fasting glucose, my average glucose right now, I check it frequently, is 86. And normally your fasting glucose is, whatever it is, it goes up pretty radically after you eat. I've never had my glucose be over 106. Whether it's before I eat, after I eat, whenever. And my average is 86, which is actually pretty incredibly low. I no longer take an allergy pill. The last time I went to the dentist, my gums looked so good, they told me that they were going to put me back on the regular schedule for every 6 months. And they wondered, was I brushing 3 times a day, flossing 3? No, I wasn't doing any of that. I've just changed what I eat. And so it's not just that I've lost all of this weight and will actually be back down to really a healthy weight, but all of my health is radically improved. And that's the great thing about eating eating a diet like this, is the fact that not only do you lose weight, but you get healthy. And that's the part that seems so contradictory to people, because what I do is almost the exact opposite of what we've been told to do for decades. Eat a low-fat diet, eat lots of whole grains, eat lots of fruits and vegetables, eat low-fat cheese, skim milk, all of that kind of stuff. Eat a bunch of plant protein. And I do the exact opposite of all of that. I eat bacon, butter, beef, and eggs. Real butter, by the way. I eat seafood. I eat chicken. I eat deer. I eat all animal proteins. I eat real cheese. I drink coffee. A lot of coffee, actually, probably about a pot a day. I put heavy whipping cream in my coffee. I eat until I am full. I don't count calories. I don't portion control. I don't do any of that stuff. I take what I want, I put it on my plate, and I eat literally until I am stuffed. And sometimes my wife still worries I'm not getting enough calories, and I'm eating high-fat red meat. And I eat as much as I can. I eat bacon and eggs. I eat as much as I can. I make an omelet. I eat as much as I can. I'm not hungry. When I'm hungry, I eat. And when I eat until one of the doctors that I listen to uses the term comfortably stuffed. And absolutely, I am comfortably stuffed. And it's just such an incredible thing that I'm able to eat foods that I love, and I'm able to eat until I am totally full, and I'm not hungry. And all of the health issues that I've had, they're all better. And that's the great thing about doing this. And my hope is over the next few videos, or how many ever videos I end up making, I want to answer a lot of questions. I want to talk in detail about how often I eat, what I eat specifically, how much I eat at a time, about health issues, about concerns that people have about, is your cholesterol going to be high, and all of that kind of stuff. I'm going to get my blood work done in July, right around my birthday, I hope. And I want to share that because one of the misconceptions that people have when I tell them what I do, I eat basically a zero-carb diet or extremely close to that. It's always this look on their face like, oh, you've got no fiber, you've got no carbohydrates, you've got all of that kind of stuff. And all of that stuff is really things that we've been told. It lingers in our mind, like you got to have fiber, you got to eat vegetables, no, you don't. You don't have to eat any of those things. And it's not bad for your health, and you don't die from a stroke or a heart attack after 2 months in. This has been a pretty long time for me. And so I'm looking forward to doing some of those things. getting that blood work done, explaining in detail kind of what I do and how I've done it. But I wanted to put this out there as kind of an introduction. Hopefully, as we go forward, my hope is that people will see this and they'll be encouraged. I know what it's like to go through life discouraged about the fact that you're unable to lose weight, or you lose weight and you gain it back, or none of that stuff ever works, and eventually we're given bad advice, which is eat less and move more. And what happens over time is you try that, and when it doesn't work, the people that give you that advice, they say it's your fault. It's your fault. You didn't have enough discipline. You didn't have enough willpower. You should have exercised more. You should have eaten even less. And listen, it's just bad advice. So no one ever stopped to consider maybe that's just crap advice and it's not the person's fault. But that's the reality. It is just crap advice. And it's not your fault. You've just never been given advice that actually works. And that's a lot of it. I mean, through this time, I've just learned an incredible amount, not just from personal experience, but from looking at medical research papers, from listening to different doctors, and not just one or two people. The number of doctors that not only are on this type of diet, but encourage this type of diet, that put their patients on this type of diet, that reverse type 2 diabetes with this diet, the number of doctors grows all the time. Heart surgeons, cardiologists, cancer doctors, medical practitioners, a kidney specialist, a neuroscientist, all kinds of new medical research, new medical evidence that really points to the fact that what we've been told for years is just wrong. It's just wrong. And so, I'm not saying that take my word for it, right? In a lot of these videos, I'll put links to some studies, I'll put links to doctors, I'll put links to research papers and those types of things. You can go and check those things out yourself. If you have any questions, let me know. Type them below because I'd be happy to answer them. And I'll do a video best I can. I want to get these out fairly quickly. That's my hope. Not just to share kind of what's happened with me, but to encourage people to do the same. There's no reason why we can't, regardless of how old we are or where we are in our life, that we can't begin to actually feel good again about who we are, to be successful in weight loss, to feel good, to eat foods that we love, and yet still be healthy. And that's my goal. My goal is to be around not just for my wife and my children, but my grandchildren and my great-grandchildren. And I think that that's what was intended, for us to be healthy, to live long, productive lives. The sad thing is, literally the food that we eat, it's literally killing us. And if we change what we eat, and we eat in a way that is more appropriate for our bodies, that actually addresses all the issues with insulin resistance and high glucose and all of those kind of things, all of a sudden, we're able to experience life like we never have before. And so that's my hope, that's my goal. We'll see you next time.